Okay, we are going to solve the problem given. One over R equals 1 over R sub 1 plus 1 over R sub 2 plus 1 over R sub 3. Find R sub 1. Solution. Well, the guy we're looking for, R sub 1, is in the denominator. So let's pull him out of the denominator by getting rid of all the fractions. So the way to do that would be to multiply both sides of the equation by the least common denominator, the LCD. It is equal to R times R sub 1 times R sub 2 times R sub 3. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything on the left and each of the terms on the right by the LCD. So we have R times R sub 1 times R sub 2 times R sub 3 times the left side, 1 over R, equals R times R sub 1 times R sub 2 times R sub 3 times the first term, 1 over R sub 1, plus R times R sub 1 times R sub 2 times R sub 3 times the second term, 1 over R sub 2. And since we're out of space, we'll move down to the next line and multiply the last term by the LCD. R times R sub 1 times R sub 2 times R sub 3 times the last term, 1 over R sub 3. What happens is we have a cancellation of the common factors on the bottom and the top of each of these terms. And we have no more fractions. So that implies R sub 1 times R sub 2 times R sub 3 times 1 equals R times R sub 2 times R sub 3 plus R times R sub 1 times R sub 3 plus R times R sub 1 times R sub 2. Now we're searching for R sub 1. So the next thing we'll do is we will gather all the terms that contain R sub 1 on the left side. We already have this first term on the left side, but we're going to bring two of these terms over by subtracting from both sides. We get this term, R sub 1, R sub 2 times R sub 3, then minus this term R times R sub 1 times R sub 3, minus R times R sub 1 times R sub 2. Then comes the equal sign, and then whatever was left after we subtracted those two terms was R times R sub 2 times R sub 3. So you see we have three terms on the left side that contain the variable that we're trying to isolate, R sub 1. So on the next line we will factor out R sub 1, the guy we're trying to solve for, and multiply that by what remains when we factor it out of the first term. It leaves R sub 2 times R sub 3, minus when we factor out R sub 1, it leaves R times R sub 3, minus when we factor R sub 1 out of the last term on the left side, it leaves R times R sub 2, equals the side R times R sub 2 times R sub 3. And then finally, to get R sub 1 by itself, we'll divide both sides by the coefficient, which is the giant parenthesis. When we divide the left side by that coefficient, we just get R sub 1 equals, because it cancels. When we multiply, we divide by the parenthesis, it's going to cancel on the left side. But on the right side, we will get R times R sub 2 times R sub 3 divided by the parenthesis term, the parenthetical expression R sub 2 times R sub 3 minus R times R sub 3 minus R times r sub 2. And there we have r sub 1 by itself, so that is our final answer. We solve for r sub 1.